Round 2 of the Norway Chess 2020 witnessed the mouth-watering encounter between Magnus Carlsen and Alireza Firouzja, the current world champion and the young lad who is dubbed as the one who will dethrone Magnus Carlsen in the years to come. Well, whether that would happen or not, we'll wait and watch. But in the second round, when they were facing each other, it turned out to be a very intense game. I want to show you some pictures here. As you can see, Alireza Firouzja here looking into the camera. He was playing with the black pieces here. Magnus Carlsen, by the way, greeting him before the game with his favorite Namaste pose. This is something that Magnus learned from Levon Aronian in round 1 and has been using it quite well in this COVID times. Makes sense, doesn't it? The game ended in a draw. It was a 3 versus 3 rook endgame, and the players shook their hands. And here you can see Magnus telling Alireza, wait, the match is not over. We are going into the Armageddon now, and that's where it'll fight. So this is the format here. Even if the classical game ends in a draw, there's an Armageddon where both the players face off against each other to determine who will win the match. And here is Magnus before the Armageddon, using a hand sanitizer. All these precautions have been taken. I would say a fantastic job by the organizers to make sure that this event is taking place. Now, going to the game of Armageddon, Carlsen was white and he was in a must-win situation. Alireza with black, a draw was enough for him. And here Magnus played a very risky line in the Queen's Gambit. He's castled. Black has space and black is looking for knight f6 and then putting his bishop to e6 when he should be okay. And so Magnus strikes here with g4. Alireza takes it and knight takes e4. Now you would feel that white is doing fine here, but actually black has this nice d5 square. His bishop could jump out to f5. Also rook f8 puts a lot of pressure on the f2 point. So knight went to g3. Bishop e6, king b1, and now rook to f8. You see now this f2 pawn is coming under a lot of pressure. e4, rook d8, rook h e1, queen to f6, attacking the d4 pawn. And here Magnus played the move f4. Very risky chess. He knew that the game was going out of his control. The d4 pawn was hanging. The f2 pawn was hanging. So he plays f4, allows en passant, then plays queen f2. And Alireza plays this next phase of the game very, very well. Knight d6, rook f7. He's doubling down the f file. Rook e1, king h8. And now after e5, exchange. And this is where I would say Alireza had his chance. He should have taken on f3. Queen takes f3. Queen takes h2. And now after rook e2, which looks like sort of the move for white, you can take queen g3, and knight takes g3. If you take with the knight here, I can take bishop f3 in this position. And if you take on f5, then I can play rook f5, knight g3, rook f3, and with 2 extra pawns here, I mean the 2 passers, black is winning. But after knight takes g3, the game moved into a rook endgame here, where it's around equal, and this is where a few moves were made. And Carlsen was trying, but here Alireza got a good position. Maybe it was important for him to play c5 here, but he went rook g3, and in the end we reached this position where Magnus played the move rook to f7. I would like to show you some pictures more here. You can see this moment is when the rook is on f7. Alireza makes his move over here, and his rook is kind of in the air. It's floating. You see, it's not steady, and actually his time, which he had 5 seconds for the move, came down to 0. His rook fell down, and this is one of the issues that Alireza faces in his game. You can see He's lost on time. Magnus Carlsen shows it to him that look, your time has now run down to 0, and you can see Alireza is not happy. It's kind of, he just threw that rook on the board, and here you can see him dejected. And all these beautiful pictures have been taken by the man on your frame, Lennart Otis. Definitely a fantastic job by Lennart. And Magnus Carlsen in the post-game conference was very, very happy. But, you know, like always, he says, I did not deserve that win in the Armageddon. As you can see, the final position here was very clear that the position is drawish in nature. For example, after rook to f7, black can, this is what Alireza wanted to play, but after king c3, I think here white has excellent winning chances, because now this is hanging as well as g7. But rook takes h4 was a much better move, and after rook a7, rook d4, king c3, rook d8, rook takes g7, king d5, somehow black manages to bring his king around, and this position is a draw, and Alireza would have made a draw and won this match against Carlsen. So there was quite a high stake, but in pressure, you know, you often go wrong, and this is what happened. Once again, the world champion came out on the top. And I want to show you another small clip of the World Rapid Championship, World Blitz Championship, where we took this video, where we captured this video, and you will see the similar thing. Alireza is not able to place his pieces in the most appropriate manner, and this is something similar happened. Let's look at this. This video was shot by Chessbase India, by us, and would like you to have a look at it. See Alireza's move here. Actually, the pawn fell down. He is better for sure in this position. Whether he's winning or not so sure. And he has around 6 seconds on the clock. See, when he makes his move, he often doesn't play it very smoothly. This is again what led. I think this is something which Alireza will have to work upon as a player. Now Magnus is, well, this could be a draw, but he is definitely not winning. But you see, the king falls down, and there he loses on time, and this was given as a win for Alireza. He was very upset, and this entire video, I'll be putting a link to it in the description. You can check it out. This was one of the most popular videos on Chessbase India, the controversy between Carlsen and Alireza. It said that lightning does not strike in the same place twice, but here it did happen. As you can see here, when Alireza placed his rook, he didn't place it properly. It fell down, and he also lost on time. Well, that was what happened between the game of these two world-class players, and I hope you got a complete idea of what took place. This is Sagar Shah signing off. Thank you very much.